Hey guys, today we're making no-bake cookies, and if you're like me and you love to bake but you live in a van and you don't have an oven, then you can make these because all you need is a frying pan. So our ingredients for today are sugar. You can use granulated sugar or brown sugar, whatever sugar you want. Half butter, half coconut oil, plain flour, salt and baking soda, 1 egg. And we are using some chopped chocolate and some pecans. You can use whatever you want. If you want to use hazelnuts or chocolate chips or fruit, whatever you want. So those are our ingredients for today. So first we need to cream the butter and the sugar together, but because it's pretty cold in here, the butter is really hard and it's going to be impossible to cream. So we're just going to soften it a little bit. You don't want it to be completely melted, you just want it a bit softer. It's stuck. Wow. So like that's enough because it's starting to melt. So I just cut up the butter a little bit more. As you can see, it's so cold in here, it's already starting to cool down, so we need to work a bit quickly. We're gonna put the sugar in with the butter and then we're going to cream it together. If you're like me, you can use a spoon, and if you're like Enzo, you can use a whisk. I'm using a spoon. So you just want to combine the sugar and the butter until it's one sort of creamy texture. So the way I do it is I push the butter into the sugar until it's combined. And if you have a electric whisk, this will be a lot easier, but as we're in a van, we don't. So I'm using my hand, and maybe Enzo's very soon. Okay, so once you have this consistency, I'm gonna crack in the egg. Careful not to get any shell. And then we're going to whisk it in. If you want, you can add a little bit of flour. This is what I like to do, just to stop it from curdling, especially when everything is so cold. So just a little bit of flour. And then give it a mix. And now we're going to add the flour, which also has the salt and the bicarb in there as well. So just going to add that a little bit at a time. Whoops.
This one?
So I just came back to the spoon because it was a bit easier. Give it a mix. And then we're going to add the rest of the flour mixture. Cool, that looks about good. And then finally, we're just going to add in our chocolate and our nuts. And once you've mixed it in, we're ready to fry.
Yeah.
So I've just floured my hands a little bit because we're just going to form them into little balls. If it was hotter, you could probably just kind of pour it, or scoop it with a spoon, but as it's pretty cold, it's quite hard to form, so we're just going to do little balls like this, put it onto a floured surface, and then we're just going to keep going like that until all the mixture's used. Little ball, and I'd say there should be about the size of a golf ball. I think it's fine.
What if you never played golf?
Google it. If you want to make bigger cookies, you can make them. I mean, you can make them whatever size you want. This is not.
You can do
size.
one big cookie if you
Yeah,
want.
you could do one giant cookie. Although that would be hard to flip. So I have my pan and I'm just going to take a spoon and just put a little bit of butter inside.
Neil's really interested.
Hey, Neil, no. And just let that melt a little bit. So before you do all the cookies, it's probably a good idea to do a test cookie. So just testing one ball just to see what temperature you need it at and how the mixture is working out. Right, once your butter has melted, then we can start adding our balls. So I'm just gonna put them in and just squish them down a bit like this. Now we're going to cover them with the lid and we're going to leave them until the underneath is browned. And then we'll come back to them. So you want to make sure they're on a medium to low heat because there's a high chance that they can burn quite easily. So you just want to be careful of that. Neil, down. And what we're going to do is you're going to see once they start to rise and start to look cooked on top, then they're ready to go. It's very similar to a pancake where you know, you don't want to flip it before you start to see those air bubbles on top, or it starts to look cooked on top. Otherwise, it's just going to be mush. So now we're going to try and flip them. So we take the lid off and hope they're not burnt. So I think we probably fried them for about 5-6 minutes on a low heat before we thought about flipping them. And you really can kind of see it by eye. You see that they start to look more cooked on top. So once you've flipped them, cook them for between 1 and 2 minutes depending on how much they coloured on this side, and turning up the heat a little bit, you can cook them quicker. Also, just be aware that when you first try it, you might get mixed results. Maybe they're going to look a little bit burnt, or they're going to break a bit when you flip them, but it's okay. It's all going to taste the same. So practice makes perfect, and the more you do it, the better they're going to get. So depending on how you like your cookies, I quite like mine to be a little bit soft inside still. You can sort of check them and see how soft they are and just take them out as you like them. So these ones are still a little bit soft inside. And there you go, a yummy plate of cookies made completely without an oven. So this recipe makes about 12 cookies, give or take, how big you decide to make them. And just want to let them cool a little bit before you eat them. Make a tea and dig in. It's really cold, so we're gonna warm up and drink our tea and eat our cookies. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, then let us know by leaving us a comment. Let us know what you thought of the cookies, and subscribe and ring the little bell. See ya! Oh!
Go buy a golf ball.
A what?
A golf ball. A ball golf.
A ball golf.